Call to order the May 30th, 2013 City of Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call. Here.
Here.
Item number 4, approval of the minutes of the meetings of April 25th, May 2nd, May 9th, and May 16th.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve those minutes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item A is a request for advertising dates of June 6th and 13th with a bid opening date of June 27th for the 6th District street reconstruction of California Avenue from 167th to 165th.
I'll make a motion we set those advertising dates and bid opening dates.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item B, a correspondence from PDOT regarding right-of-way, Calumet Avenue, and Indianapolis Boulevard.
INDOT doesn't object to the encroachment within their right-of-way. There's a slight encroachment. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve their relief for the encroachment.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item C, correspondence from AT&T requesting permission to perform work at 171st and Woodlawn.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the digging request. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Request is approved. Item D, correspondence from Chief Miller requesting the approval of specialty pay to several officers and listing the purchasing agents for the Hammond Police Department. Is there a motion to accept the promotions?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item E, correspondence from Chief Smith requesting the retirement of several firefighters and the promotion of additional firefighters. Is there a motion to approve the staffing changes at the fire department?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item F, we have a correspondence from Vice President Hull of the Firefighters Union requesting the request for a grievance hearing. We've prepared a response for that hearing. I'd like a motion to approve the response. Is there a motion to approve the response to the hearing request?
So moved.
I will abstain.
I concur with your recommendation, Mr. DeStatney. Item G, notice of violation at 4415 Homan.
This property contains a halfway removed basement apartment. The current owner is going to be living at the property, and so they are currently working on finishing the removal of that basement apartment. So I would just like the board to affirm it so that we can have it on the record that it's supposed to be a single-family home.
Is there a motion to affirm the request by code enforcement?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item H, notice of violation at 4146 Toll.
This property was inspected by myself and Kelly. As it currently sits, it's a 4-unit property. The front house has 3 units, and the rear apartment above the garage has an apartment as well. Upon the research being performed, the apartment above the garage is legal. However, the second floor and basement apartment in the front house are illegal, non-conforming rental units. Therefore, we're requesting that the board affirm the removal of the 2 units. The second floor ceiling height is well below 7 feet, and then there is no permits to convert the basement into an apartment. That's your guys'.
This is your opportunity to respond to the city's request to remove the additional apartments at your unit.
Yes, sir. This is the owner of the property here next to me, Francois Greenwood. I'm Keith Durbin, lead contracting. We had gone over the property with the 2 inspectors that day and basically spent several hours. And I do agree with the statements of the second floor. I do also agree with the due diligence of the inspector, figuring out that there was no permits to convert this into basically the main building being a 3-unit apartment. What we would like to do, or what we were proposing, what we had discussed with the inspectors that day, is that since the basement apartment ceiling heights, basic requirements with a few issues like an emergency egress window being installed in one of the back bedrooms If we can formulate a plan to convert the basement apartment into a legal, permitted apartment, since it actually meets code requirements on ceiling heights, egress points, so on and so forth, with a few issues that would need to be tended to. But if we formulate that plan, we would like to maintain the basement apartment to be so.
There's already 2 units on that lot. You can't allow a 3rd unit for some variance. You have to get approval of PDA.
Because of zoning?
So, because of the lot size. And that, still, that one has to meet current code for everything.
Mr. President, perhaps it'd be best just to set this over for a couple of months so he can explore his options with the zoning. He may be granted a variance or conditional use, or he may not, but at least he would know before he spent any money on construction.
That would be your
Or
contention at
demolition.
that point. Do you want to hold over for a couple of months, is what you're suggesting, is pull over for a couple of months to go to the zoning board to try to get them to rezone the property to allow 3 units. As it sits right now, current zoning does not allow 3 units, it only allows the 2.
How long it take? A couple months.
It depends when their next meeting is. You have to get on their agenda, and I know they meet once a month, but you'd have to talk to Don Novak. He'd be able to really help you out better than I
Don
can.
Novak?
60 days out.
Okay.
Basement unit occupied.
No, all units are vacant.
Yeah, the entire property is vacant right now, sir.
Did you mark them uninhabitable?
No, we didn't. Yeah, there's nobody living there.
Sir, I'm going to reset your
He's not
hearing,
cooperative with everything.
your hearing here for July 25th to give you 60 days in order to assess whether or not the zoning changes are going to be something that you want to pursue. July 25th here at 9 a.m.
All right, sir. Thank
It
you.
might not even be rezoned. It just might be getting a variance.
Item I, notice of violation at 2934 165th Street.
We were first on this property a few years ago due to a police raid when we had established that there was 3 units in what clearly was a single-family home. We didn't do the inspection at that time. We didn't do any further work. The property was in foreclosure and it has been vacant, has been still vacant. We got a call from a realtor wanting paperwork saying that this should be returned to a single-family home. So we did set up the inspection, going and establish that there's no fire separation. Every indication is that it was a single-family home that's been illegally converted. Some people have interest that dispute that, but they do not own the property and they're not here to represent that. We're asking that be returned to a single-family home.
Is there a motion regarding code enforcement's requests to approve findings in order to return this to a single-family home? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Item J, correspondence received requesting, by several homeowners requesting rental registration appeal hearings. 3 weeks out? 4 weeks out. Set these for June 27th.
Mr. President, just for clarification, June 27th is the demo date, so it'll be kind of full. I don't know if you want to add all that on.
July. Item K. We have a request by Attorney Vosti for a continuance on 2 properties to August 8th. Is there
We're asking for another continuance. Both these properties were inspected in November 2012. We've established that they're legal cut-up. Both attorneys, 4839 represented by Mr. Foster, and 41B represented by Mr. Vosti. I have no reason or no understanding why this should be continued again, especially to August. 915 Michigan has been, or I'm sorry, 4841 Elm and 915 Michigan that Vosti's asking to continue. Our 915 is actually in front of Judge Harkin on another matter. Continuing this is going to delay that. Our work is done. Discovery has been given. I just can't see any reason to continue this to August. Meanwhile, both houses, I do believe, are still continue to be occupied.
Is there a time in late June, Mr. Smith?
People at risk here if they're occupied. We have to do a permit and they can appeal it. But to continue it, I think it's our best bet.
You have a date in late June? 27?
27's the demo
You're
hearing.
saying that there's people living there right now? All
That's
the
correct.
units are occupied?
That's correct.
How many units in 915?
915 is 2 units with a basement that's not occupied. This was a situation at one of the worst wiring situations I've ever seen. They've had that corrected, although they continue to occupy 2 units that we believe, and our research will show that it should be a single-family home. 4841 Elm and 4839 Elm, same situations. There's 4841, I believe, is 3 units, with an apartment in the garage, and a upstairs apartment in both of those properties that, to my knowledge, continue to be occupied.
I'd like to make a motion that we set this for June 27th, and explain in that letter that we're going to send to Vossi that this is the last continuance.
I appreciate it.
Mr. President, can we just do July 11th, only because there's going to be so many hearings on the 27th, it's already going to be a 2-hour meeting as it is, without adding a Foster hearing. How about July 11th?
Would you like to amend your motion, Mr. DeStatney?
To July.
How about-
July 11th?
I'll amend it to.
Or June 20th?
How about June 20th?
I mean, just not the 27th, that's
Okay, well, let's do it on June 20th. We should resolve it, especially if those are occupied units.
Thank you.
A motion to continue this to June 20th with a letter going to Attorney Vossi explaining that this will be the final continuance. Is there a second on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item L, we have correspondence from Attorney Foster requesting a continuance.
Same situation, 4839 Elm, 4841 Elm, next to properties. Both attorneys had more than enough time to appeal, ask any questions, discover anything to do. Same situation. Both of these houses were inspected in November 2012.
What if we reset this for the same date?
I appreciate that.
I'll make a motion that we reset it for, what did we do, June?
June 20th?
For June 20th. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item M, a rental registration, 1127 Moss and 5651 Soul. Any interested parties, please come forward.
Please state your name.
Araceli Gutierrez.
Ms. Gutierrez, you've requested an appeal of rental registration.
Yes.
This is your opportunity to explain to the board why you don't believe that rental registration fees or late fees should be assessed on your property.
Well, I really don't have the money like that to bring it all out, to pay flat out. And then the reason why I'm late is I had a really emergency that I had to leave out of state, and I passed by the time I came back, it was over with. So that's why I'm trying to ask if I could have another opportunity to go ahead and pay in the low cost fee, because right now my finances is really not stabilized to pay the whole amount that you guys are requesting.
Mr. President, my information indicates that she has owned the property at 1127 Moss since January of 2012, and owned the property at 5651 Soul since May of 2012. Both properties do need to be inspected, as the building department is concerned that one of 1127 Moss may be an illegal 2 unit.
That 1127 Moss, nobody lives in it. Actually, one of the workers here at the court is actually the one that's fixing the property, and he never has fixed it. It is actually on a stop. The only one that's with renters is 5651 Soul. 1127 been on a stop since day one, since I bought it.
So 1127 Moss is vacant and not a rental?
Yes.
I mean, on that one, I don't see any reason not to waive the late fee if it's not a rental. How many units
Do
are?
you live there?
Which one?
On Mott?
No, nobody lives there.
How long has it been vacant?
It's been vacant basically since I bought it. Nobody actually lived
The
there or
water
nothing.
shut off?
Huh?
You have the water shut off?
Yeah, well, everything's shut off on it.
We'll have to do an inspection before they turn the water on.
How
Is
many
this
units?
rental registration appeal for rental registration fees of 2012 or 2013?
Did you register in 2012?
Mm-mm,
Okay. Did you register in 2013?
no.
You don't own any other properties in the city besides those two?
My home that I live in,
How many units are at 5651 sold?
so,
And are they both occupied?
yes.
There's been a request to waive late fees for years of 2012 and 2013 for 2 units at 5651 Sol. Is there a motion by the board to grant the appeal? Is there a motion by the board to grant the appeal? Ms. Gutierrez, your appeal is denied due to lack of a motion to grant your relief. Thank you.
What if, that's the 1127 Moss, that one is granted? That's the vacant building?
That one shouldn't apply because
Okay.
it's not
She
being
just needs
rented.
to go out-
Yeah,
You'll have 30 days to register from the time it's.
She just needs, you need to fill out an affidavit of vacancy for this one. Go downstairs to the basement and fill out the affidavit showing that 1127 Moss is vacant.
Item N, rental registration at 5441 Birch. Any interested parties, please come forward. Okay, who needs to come? There's 2 units?
Okay.
All right. Nothing shown. 100, 2 units, $80. Okay. Mr. Miranda?
Yes.
This is your appeal. This is your opportunity to explain to the board why you don't believe that you should pay the rental registration fees that were assessed on your property.
Basically, I have no excuse. The legitimate reason is just simply that I assumed that it was in the month of April. I did come to pay for it, the $80 that I was supposed to, and I was a week behind. Again, I know I'm at the mercy of the court, and I'm just asking if you can extend some mercy so that I can get this situated. I know I'm always up to par. Again, there's no excuse.
Is there any information from code enforcement on this property?
Code enforcement indicates the water bill is mailed to his Hammond address on Alexander, and there have been no indications of any problems at this property. There's no flags for nuisance or citations.
And this has been registered prior to 2013?
Yes, Mr. President.
Is there a motion to grant Mr. Miranda's request for appeal of late fees for 2013?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Your late fees are waived for 2013.
Thank you, Mr. President. Especially considering the number of rental registration hearings we're having today, if we could, I'm asking if we have a status for 30 days. If they pay, if they're square, that's fine. They don't have to come, we'll take care of it through the office. But if they don't, then I want to be able to start issuing citations and get court actions on this. We have to have some kind of end to this. So if 30 days they're paid, if taken care of, that's fine. If not, then we'll start issuing court citations or send it to collections. We just need to cut off period. We're giving these people opportunities to pay or be granted their appeals. We'd just like to be able to put it into this or take the next step to either collections or court action.
And it's much easier for us to track these if we see it on the agenda, we can look at it and see if they comply with you.
If we don't have a 30-day status, it basically says...
Understood. The board will take appropriate action in future motions to require that rental registration fees, if they're waived, be paid within 30 days.
Appreciate that.
Then we turn it over.
Item O, rental registration hearing at 534 Walton. Any interested parties, please come forward.
Good morning. This is I buy this house in February 28, and I don't know, I gotta pay for renting the sticker. I live in Chicago.
You bought it when?
In February 28, 2013, this year. And I don't know because I don't know, I gotta pay for the sticker for renting. I don't know, none. After one friend told me I need to pay, it's when I come and ask it, and there it's a little late for pay the $80. for the
Yeah.
sticker.
Is that the only property you own in the city?
Huh?
Is that the only property that you own in Hammond?
I'm not,
How many properties do you own in the city of Hammond?
the only one. I buy this house because I want to move to here, but my wife don't want to move to here now. I got to rent.
Is that occupied now?
Yes.
Has it been occupied since you bought it?
Yes, this I don't know nothing about it. I gotta pay something after one friend told me I gotta get a permit for
Your
that.
Honor, city's records indicate he purchased the property February 28th, 2013, so that's consistent with what he says.
Is there a motion to grant relief to Mr. Tovalina at 434 Waltham for late fees for the year 2013?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Your appeal's been granted. The late fees are waived on your unit.
30 days to pay,
How much?
Item P,
$80.
rental registration hearing at 7222 Osborne.
Okay.
Any interested parties, please come forward.
Mr. President, those that have rental registration hearings, if you will wait till after the meeting, we can get a copy of the decision from the board and the amount that you pay, and if you want to take care of it today, great. If not, you'll have 30 days to pay, we can follow it that way. So just hang around after the meeting if you'd like to pay today or get that information.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
All right, Mr. President, my records indicate that Mr. Duncan is registered on time every other year previously, and the bills have been, he lives on Orchard in Hammond, so the bills, we've gotten a copy of the water bill.
Mr. Duncan, why didn't you register your
I
unit for
forgot.
2013?
Well, I didn't really forget. It was a mistake. I pay everything by a spreadsheet, and I usually pay this before the 15th, which would be the last Friday of March. And somehow I put it in for the last Friday of April, which was the 26th. So I showed up to pay and found out it was 11 days late. That's all.
Ms. Cantar, your records indicate Mr. Duncan has paid his rental registrations every other year
All the
except
time,
for this year.
every other year.
Is there a motion to grant relief of late fees at 7222 Osborne?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Your appeal's been granted. Your late fees are waived.
Okay, got 30 days to
30
pay?
days.
And how do they know that it's $80?
Because as soon as the board works is done, there'll be an order that you can take down, but we have to
Okay.
finish all these.
Item Q, rental registration at 237 Ogden. Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Graham, can you explain to the board why you failed to register your unit at 237 Ogden?
I normally have it registered. I came in earlier. I thought it was due, but she said I had up until April to get it in, and I came in April 29th, and she said it's supposed to be the 15th, so that's why I'm late.
Mr. President, this one has quite a bit of notation on it. He's owned it since 2008. It is 2 units. It was last registered April of 11. It was registered late in 2012, which would be June 12th of 2012. On January 25th of this year, it was marked uninhabitable. Tenants have no heat. Landlord refuses to repair a furnace. Small children and newborn are among tenants living there. Landlord has been making repairs to rental unit without permits, exposed electrical wires and other issues. Entire building should be inspected prior to reoccupancy. Tenants say they're moving in 6 days due to landlord not addressing issues. Property must be vacated by February 4th, 2013. And unless all issues are corrected, no new tenants will be allowed to occupy. January 2013, received a call from tenant explaining that the owner removed the uninhabitable sign on January 26, 2013. A citation was issued. February 2013, stop work order posted for doing work in the rental property without a contractor's license or permits. Also using the basement as habitable space, issuing ATI, discovering everything that must be done, complete property inspection set for February 13, issuing citations. So needless to say, we have previously waived his late fee, already registered late in 2012, and he's not exactly been a model landlord.
Can I respond to that, please? Yes, I just had two bad tenants. I put in a request with the police. I evicted them. I got 2 leases here to show that 2 leases had also started on March because of the problems that I had with one Section 8 person being evicted because of losing their Section 8, and the other person bringing a rock well into the facility. And because of me, them getting evicted, they made a lot of accusations towards me. My previous tenants have been there 2-3 years, so I have, before those problems that she's requested, those are all during a 1 week period of when they were leaving the facility. And I can bring the police records or whatever else, and then I have agreed to cooperate with anything that, whatever, but I've been there and I haven't had any issue besides those 2 incidents with those 2 tenants because of whatever reason, one being evicted and they just accused me falsely of but they had no previous problems. The furnace, I gave notes to the city as far as the furnace was concerned. I corrected what I thought was needed to be corrected. I had no previous problem, but if you check the police record, you can see that there's been a series of records involving my tenant on domestic and everything else.
Okay, Attorney Cantor, you said it was a 2-unit, and Nick, I heard you say 3.
Right, we were unaware there was a basement apartment. The inspection was done, and then Kelly, you said you were able to get down there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, some of the problems, Chris, that you said was with electric hanging wires. Has that been corrected, or you guys don't even know yet?
I haven't met back.
Is it occupied at this time?
Yes, it is. The only unwiring was due to the person, the socket that is plugged into didn't have a cover on it. So both of those first 2 units that I occupy I have been staying in contact with these guys. And
Mr. Graham, is this a 3-unit then?
it's a 2-unit.
Basement apartment.
Is it occupied?
No, it's not occupied.
It's not occupied, but there's a basement apartment.
You have a,
One of the issues that brought us to our attention, obviously, there was a complaint from the tenant, but there was an extension cord running from the garage to the apartment that they were using for power, space heaters throughout the place. All those issues aside, which we'll handle on a separate basis, he didn't register the property on time, again.
Right, and during that period of time that I was having problems with him, that's why I came up, because my sticker was due in, I think not March, but maybe February, and I came up there, she said I had it up until April, and because I had so many issues, I was addressing, I just assumed that it was to the end of April. But I've never not paid it, and I have not cooperated with any of the things that they have asked me to, they have removed the sticker themselves. I did not remove the sticker myself, I did not. And the unplugging it, that probably was due, the person I evicted in 3 days because of the rock welding.
is there any additional information you'd like the board to know prior to assessing a decision on your case, Mr. Graham?
Just to show you that the 2 leases that, during that period, would begin in March, the 1st of March, both of those begun because they were unoccupied, because I had to clear them out and, had to deal with whatever I had to deal with the building inspectors in order to keep it moving. So they said I could continue to go ahead until they have further issues with me, and I haven't had any conversation with them besides, their time.
Is there a motion by the board to grant the appeal for rental registration fees at 237 Ogden? Is there a motion by the board to grant the appeal at 237 Ogden? Your appeal fails for lack of a motion. Thank you. Item R, rental registration hearing at 1804 Indianapolis Boulevard. Mr. Calleros,
Yes.
this is your opportunity to explain to the board why you did not pay your rental registration fees at 1804 Indianapolis.
I purchased this property. The first tenants that moved in 2 of the apartments. I did get the registration last year. This year, when I came in, it was late already. I never received the notice. When I checked, they did tell me they mailed it, and they showed me, and it turns out they mailed it to wrong address. I do have the card. They send it to another rental dwelling of mine, but I bought several pieces of letter that shows my actual address, where all my things go to, so I never received notice of the deadline. But last year when they moved in, I did pay them.
How long have you owned it?
I think about a year and a half,
Mr.
somewhere
President,
around
my
there.
records indicate he's owned it since April of 2012. He's been caught working without a permit twice.
We did inspect the property. There are 2 rental units and 1 commercial building. There's been a a lot of work going on without permits, but as far as the rental registration, there's some issues to be addressed in the property, but that's safe for another time. Well,
We don't charge rental registration for the commercial.
Yeah, not for the commercial, so it'd be the 2 units. They both are currently occupied.
As for the mailing, we mail it to whatever address they have, they register the property, and if you register before, whatever information we have available to us, either assessor, treasurer, Manatron, whatever we have. If you went to the wrong address, it's because we don't have the proper information. Had it been registered to his home address, we would have been able to send it to that home address.
And as I mentioned, that's why I did bring, my insurance, my assessor's forms and everything, where my mail goes to. I don't know why it ended up at this address. It's,
Mr. President, that's one of the reasons rental registration is so critical, so we have a current and correct address for a person and we can contact them. If we do not have a current and correct address, we have to go by the county records, and the county records are just whatever they are.
So you said there's been work done on permits?
Yeah, I mean, the commercial building has been completely renovated, and the first floor apartment has been completely renovated. The only permit that was pulled, which has already expired in January, was for some windows and some drywall. However, no inspections have been done on that permit, so nobody called in to do the inspections. There's a lot of, the thing that scares me at this property is there's a lot of exposed wiring in the basement, but he states that that's how it was when they bought the property. So if it's been sitting like that for a year, we had to call the fire department out there due to a gas leak. NIPSCO came out, emergency shut off, had a plumber change all of those lines out. They were rusted, a lot of moisture in the basement. My main concern at this property is that everything gets tightened up and safe for these tenants.
Mr. Kairos, is there any additional information you wish the board to consider regarding your rental registration appeal?
Well, basically that, I just wasn't aware. I've only had it for a year. As you can see, I did pay initially and had them go in there and look at the building before they were rented out, and they did inspect them to be able to be rented. I just didn't receive the notice. That was, that's plain truth. I have the address that they sent it to and my mail from the assessor's office where my stuff goes to.
Did the apartment doors have rental registration stickers on them when you bought it?
No, I got them for the renters that moved in when I purchased. There were no renters at the time when I bought the building.
Do you remember who did perform that inspection? You said it was inspected prior to you being able to rent out the property?
I'm sure they have it on record. I don't know the gentleman's name. He was an older gentleman.
But you state that electrical has been that way since you bought the building. There's no inspector in the city that would allow that to be occupied with that electrical the way it is.
Sir, do you own any other properties in Hammond?
No. This is the first one I bought it, like it's been a year. Trying to, fix the place up. I am trying to, improve it and everything,
Nick, you guys go back and look at it?
Absolutely.
Is there a motion to grant the appeal of late fees at 1804 Indianapolis Boulevard? Is there a motion?
I'll make that.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Your late fees have been waived for 2013.
They're going to be coming out to inspect.
Okay.
And you have
Rental registration hearing at 6647 Missouri, item S.
Hi, I just marked my calendar wrong as April 30th to be the last day to come pay the registration. I came on the 29th, and I saw at the top of the paper that the 15th was the last day to register, and I don't know, maybe I meant to mark it on the 30th of March. I don't remember, but as soon as I got the paper, I guess I just, marked it and threw it out. And I asked if I can give an extension or something. That's when they told me I needed to appeal.
Mr. President, I have she's owned it since February of '09. She did not register in '09. She registered late in 2010, which would be in September. She registered on time in 2011. She registered late in 2012, which was May 15th, and she was cited for failure to register in 2010.
Is there a reason you're chronically late?
I wasn't aware that I had registered late.
Did you come before the board
year.
last year and we
Last-
granted you relief for late fees?
No.
This is your first time here?
Yes.
How long have you owned it? Oh,
This
since
is
9. I'm
the-
sorry. Is that the only building you own in the city?
Yeah, well, apart from our house that we live in.
So you don't live there?
I don't live there. We had to rent it out, and this is, I think, the third.
Can you promise not to be late again?
Yes, I will.
Is there a motion to grant relief of late fees at
Is it a 1 or a 2 unit?
It's just a single.
6647 Missouri?
Waive the late fee?
Is there a motion to grant the appeal?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Late
you.
fees have been waived. Item T, rental registration at 7137 Tapper.
Yes, I registered the property last year in December, or November, December, and I was just simply late this year. I thought it was April 30th instead of the 15th. So I can pay for that today.
You registered in November, December of...
Last year, yeah.
So you were late in 12?
I was late. I
He didn't purchase the property
Hey.
until the end of
Yeah.
last year and he registered. He probably
Yep.
thought it was good for a year, but unfortunately it would only be good for 3 months.
Is there a motion to grant the appeal of late fees at 7137 Tapper? All in favor? Aye. Your appeal's been granted.
Cool.
Item U, rental registration at 6630 Homan. 6330, excuse me.
Hi, he's the owner of the property. His name is Lin, and I'm the relatives, and I'm here to translate. So the main reason he forgot to pay the rental fee is because of language barriers. And he doesn't know the rules and the law in the United States here that he has to pay the rental fee every year. So that's why he didn't know and then failed to pay the rental for this 4 years. And then from now on, he willing to pay the rental fee every year from now on. He will definitely pay.
Sort of a unique situation. We got called up by the police department, as soon as opened the door, thought the house was being broken into, went into the house, was allowed entry into the house, and found that basically what we were doing was renting individual rooms to, I believe, employees of business that he owns. I believe there's at least 5 people that were renting individual rooms. There's multiple situations that we need to be taken care of. There's 12 beds in the house. We had 5 people that were actually there.
I'm familiar with the Kelly. That's fine.
There's a basement apartment, there's a garage apartment that was unoccupied, so we're not looking for that. These cases are kind of disturbing because of the individuals act individually and cook individually and do things individually at the same time they're sharing in the same facilities. So we have certain concerns about health standards and what have you. Giving my choice, I would almost like to charge for each room that he was renting, but I see it a late fee applied to this house in a very nice neighborhood, being used in this manner and not even bothering to register. It's concerning.
I remember you told us you were charging the tenants $1,000 cash a month, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't live in that house, correct?
I do live in the house because he's renting the house for
Well, your
relatives.
driver's license shows you live in Illinois.
Well, yes, that wasn't my car. That was his wife's car. And then the other car was licensed at Wisconsin, was my mom's car, and then she just visiting here, and I'm just borrowing the car.
So you live in Indiana, but you have Illinois plates on your car.
It was not my car. It was my mom's car. No, the car was licensed for Illinois. It was
So you were
his
living
wife.
there when the 10 other people were living there?
Yeah, I was living there.
And you
Ma'am, you stated that the owner of this property charges cash to the residents that live there. Is that correct?
If he charged you cash.
$1,000.
Okay. And the owner of the property, you stated, was unfamiliar with local rules and regulations regarding rental registrations.
He
Is that
doesn't know
correct?
at all, and he only speaks a little English.
How long has he owned the building?
One more question.
Before he bought his new house in Tinny Park, he lived in this properties for a pretty long time, and then.
And are you reporting the cash receipts that you're receiving on your rental unit to the U.S. government?
Cash receipt, report calling money. Like I said, he's renting the house.
Jim, excuse me a second, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, he said that he's renting the house for the relatives, and then we just pay him the cash, and then he just write whatever the amount for every year's W-2 form or the tax.
Okay. Is there any additional information you'd like the board to assess regarding your rental registration appeal?
Yes, he promised that he will pay from now on if he can avoid the late fee of the previous years. Because the main reason is language barriers.
Is there a motion to grant relief of late fees at 6330 Homan? Is there a motion by the board to grant relief of late fees at 6330 Homan? Your appeal fails for lack of a motion. Thank you. Item V, rental registration at 840 Merrill.
Hi. I've never been late before, but at the time,
She's never, it always is registered on time right here.
but at the time I was going through some medical problems, and the date slipped my mind. But I did not forget to pay it, but the date just slipped my mind.
How many units is it, Chris?
Just one.
Any additional information you'd like the board to assess?
Just that I won't forget to pay it on time next time. I just pay it early, but I was going through some medical problems.
Is there a motion by the board to grant relief at 840 Merrill Street?
Motion. I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Your appeal's been granted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item W, rental registration at 1323 Sherman.
Good morning.
Morning.
I was late, and actually I really did forget because I was going through marital problems. We were trying to determine who was going to live in the current residence, and so the notice must have come, and I wasn't there, but I did get approved by the courts to reside in the house now. So when I got back, I immediately went to try to pay for it, and they told me that I had missed I think I came on the 28th, I can't remember. But
This is your home now, Ms. Brown?
No, this is a rental home in Hammond, but the notice was sent to my home in Lansing. Well, at the time, my husband's home, my home now.
I understand.
I have, this is the,
Mr. President, she's got a judgment of separation from the Cook County Courts.
and right, because the mortgage is a
And it's dated January 15th of 2013.
He didn't leave right away, needless to say.
Is there a motion to grant relief of the late fees at 1323 Sherman?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you
Your
very
appeal's been
much.
granted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item X, rental registration on a property owned by Mr. Craig Mattman.
Mr. President, for 1325 173rd, we're going to ask that the appeal be granted.
What's the address?
I'm sorry, 1325 173rd, which is Mr. Montman. He's never been late before.
73rd Street?
1325 173rd.
There's a request by code enforcement to grant relief at 1325 173rd. Is there a motion?
I'll second it.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to grant it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item Y, rental registration at 1023 Chicago. Mr. Soto, this is your opportunity to explain to the board why you didn't pay your rental registration fees at 1023 Chicago.
Yeah, pues I paid already by 1 month ago.
Mr. President, I have that he's owned it since 2009. He was sent a collection letter for failure to register for 2010, 11, and 12. The water bills are in his name and are current.
Your contention that you've paid your rental registration fees
Yeah,
for
I
years?
paid 17.
Oh, okay, so Mr. President, if he's paid, then I suppose it's moot, and the hearing is moot. He's already paid. He paid the full amount, 580, paid 580 for each of those years.
17 something I paid.
So there's no action needed by the board?
No action needed by the board.
Very good.
Already paid.
Thank you, Mr. Soto. Item Z, rental registration at 1704 Indianapolis.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Corman?
Yes, George Corman. I own the property at 1704 Indianapolis Boulevard. And I've owned it for about 36 years. And to my knowledge, I've always paid property taxes on time, water bills on time, and I don't think I've ever been late paying the rental assessment fee in that time. And what happened, I was, excuse me, out of town. I was down in Arkansas fishing, and my secretary of 40 years overlooked this, and she sent it in 4 days late. I have no excuse other than that.
Mr. President, I have he's never been late before.
Is there a motion by the board to grant relief for the late fee at 1704 Indianapolis Boulevard?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.
Item 2A, rental registration at 1319 Hoffman.
That's the question. Thank you.
Mr.
The
Schrader?
property at 1319 Hoffman belonged to my dad. He passed away in 2006. We never rented it out. We let relatives live there. And the agreement, by them living there, they paid their own gas and lights until they could save up money to buy a better home. Because the house, we tried to sell it, we couldn't sell it.
So you don't collect rent from them?
Nothing. And my sister, the baby sister, she had no place to go, so we just gave her the house.
Mr. Schrader, we have an affidavit for related living. And it's a statement that you'll sign saying that you have relatives living in the house that you're not collecting rent on.
Right.
Would you be willing to sign an affidavit to that effect?
Yeah.
Okay, if you'll speak with the building department, they can provide that for you.
All right.
And is there a motion to dismiss action at 1319 Hoffman?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
And
Item 2B,
we're trying to get the house put in her name, so
rental registration at 1648 Calumet Avenue.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm Ramon Sanchez. And probably I don't have excuse for this because I came 4 days late. But the thing is, I didn't know about the expiration date. And for the whole last year, I was very tight on my budget because the property taxes, I had to pay in full the house. And I went to Crown Point to fix that because I'm living there.
Mr. Sanchez has
Yes.
never been late before.
This is one unit, Mr. Sanchez?
It's 2 units. I live in the first floors, and the second floor is the one that I'm trying.
And you've never been late previously,
No,
is that
and I
correct?
promise not to be
Is
anymore.
there a motion to grant relief at 1648 Calumet Avenue for late fees for 2013?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Item 2C, rental registration at 6404 Harrison.
Good morning. My name is Steve Tokar. I was in the hospital the end of March. I was under doctor's care as the 1st of April. Important thing was I was doing my taxes, which I had to file an extension on the 15th day of April. When I got that cleared out of the way, I looked at the rest of my bills, found I had an outstanding bill. I have a check here that I wrote for 4 days after the 15th, brought it downstairs. Lady says she could not accept it, and I had to come up here.
he has already paid. There was a dispute over 10 and 11, and it appears he's already paid those.
And you came in 4 days after the deadline. Is there a motion to grant relief of late fees at 6404 Harrison?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 2D, rental registration at property at 7822 Delmar.
How you doing? My name's Fabian Valdez. I've owned the property for 22 years. I just bought another property and I just rented the house out in November of last year. So I was not really aware when the due date was.
Mr. President, my information is very similar. It says he registered in November of 2012, but has not yet registered for this year.
Were you unaware that you had to register by April 15th?
Yeah, I did not know about that.
This is the only rental unit you own in Hammond?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a motion to grant relief at 7822 Delmar?
I'll make the motion, grant it.
All in favor?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item 2E, hearing on property at 7141 Mccook.
Good morning, Jamie Driscoll here for the property owner. I'm asking for a one-week continuance. I've got an agreement that I worked out. We got the finalized with Mr. Duncanson yesterday. I was just simply unable to get my client's signature on it by this morning. So if I could have a one-week
I
continuance.
have seen the agreement. We just had some language back and forth we were trying to hammer out.
So it looks good?
It's fine, it's just, he needs a signature.
Is there a motion to continue this till next Thursday?
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Item 2F, we have correspondence from Attorney Plants requesting a hearing at 6312 Madison and 7135 Arkansas be continued to June 6th. Is there a motion to approve the request for continuance? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item 2G, we have findings of fact regarding 7711 Rhode Island. Is there a motion to approve the findings of facts?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item 2H, correspondence from Gary Gleason requesting approval to place resident-only parking at 6730 Alabama. Is there a motion to approve the request?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item 2I, correspondence from Ms. Paniagua, the Executive Director of Hammond Housing, requesting resident-only signage be installed at Columbia Center.
I'll make that motion that it be approved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2J, correspondence from Councilman Higgs requesting service to trees around 1123 Morris.
Should be referred to Park Department?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that be referred to the Park Department. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2K, we have several garage sale permits for approval.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the garage sale permits.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2L, correspondence from St. Casimir requesting a few streets be barricaded for a parade.
I'll make a motion that we approve the parade route.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2M, correspondence from St. Demetrius requesting barricades for their festival.
I'll make a motion that we approve that street closure. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item 2N. We have a request that Magnolia Avenue between 175th and 6th be blocked off on Saturday, June 15th for a block party.
I'll make a motion that we approve the block party. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2O, we have correspondence requesting the blockage of some streets around Moraine and 162nd Street be blocked for a block party.
I'll make a motion that we approve that one. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item 2P, we have correspondence requesting the closure of certain streets for a block party around the 5500 block of Beale.
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2Q. We have a request to close the 1900 block of Lincoln for a block party on July 6th.
Motion,
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2R, we have a request to close off the 800 through 1100 block of Field Street for a block party.
I'll make a motion that we approve the closure.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item 2S, we have the correspondence to close the 2700 block of 162nd Place for a block party.
make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item 2T, correspondence from the Downtown Hammond Council requesting the closing of William Street for their festival.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 2U, we have correspondence from WOW advising us that they're going to be adding a few channels to their service. Is there a motion to accept the...
No motion needed for that.
Very good. We'll enter it into the record. Item 6, is there matters from other board members? Item 7.
This item here, we have a notice of violation for what property?
6519 Jackson. There's a notice of violation. Any interested parties, please come forward.
Good morning. Dan Zajac, attorney, will be representing the Jansmas, who are the respondents here. Robert Jansma is present. While the notice and the order advising that there would be a hearing this morning had in fact been mailed out on May 14th, it hadn't actually been received until May 23rd. We just wanted to get a continuance so that we could look into options available at this point. I have a statement of grounds if the board wanted or if council needed it.
No, President, there's no objection. We probably need some discovery. If it's only going on the 23rd,
July 11th, was that our date?
No.
Is that sufficient, July 11th?
Yeah, July 11th would work. That would be at 9 o'clock.
All right. Reset the matter for July 11th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any new or old business? Item 10, the meeting is now open to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to address the board, now is your opportunity to do so. Seeing that there's none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?